What is autophagy? Suppose you own a car. You love this car. You have great memories in it. You love to ride it. But after a few years, it starts to look kind of beat up. After a few more, it's not looking so great. The car is costing you thousands of dollars every year to maintain. It's breaking down all the time. Is it better to keep it around when it's nothing but a hunk of junk? Obviously not. So you get rid of it and buy a snazzy new car. The same thing happens in the body at a subcellular level. Cells become old and junky. It is better that they be programmed to die when their useful life is done. It sounds really cruel, but that's life. That's the process of apoptosis, where cells are predestined to die after a certain amount of time. However, you don't necessarily need to replace the entire car. Sometimes you just need to replace the engine or the battery, throw out the old one and get a new one. This also happens in the cells. Instead of killing off the entire cell, apoptosis, you only want to replace some cell parts. That is the process of autophagy, where subcellular organelles are destroyed and new ones are rebuilt to replace it. The basic idea behind autophagy is that in the absence of external sources of food, the body begins to eat itself. Auto, self. Phage, eat. Destroying and recycling its own damaged cell bits and proteins so that new and healthy versions can be built. Autophagy was first described in 1962 when researchers noted an increase in the number of lysosomes, the part of the cell that destroys stuff, in red liver cells after infusing glucagon. The Nobel Prize winning scientist Christian Dedouet coined the term autophagy. Damaged subcellular parts and unused proteins become marked for destruction and then sent to the lysosomes to finish the job. There wasn't any breakthrough in the understanding of this process until the Japanese biologist Yoshinori Ohsumi won a Nobel Prize in 2016 for his discoveries and research on the mechanisms underlying autophagy. What activates autophagy? If there is no autophagy, a human would simply not survive. However, that doesn't mean that you can settle down and just believe your body will do all the work. It won't. But what turns off autophagy? Eating. Glucose, insulin, or decreased glucagon, and proteins all turn off this self-cleaning process. In that way, the cells think that they have no need to recycle, they just want to rest. Taking an afternoon nap after the lunch, the cells are just micro version of you, so pretty much the same, isn't it? Nutrition deprivation is the key activator of autophagy. You would think, I don't want to be so strict on myself and just stop eating. I can't do that. You don't have to. The experiments have shown that at the beginning, 16 hours fast could be the best balanced choice of all. If you start consuming food in an interval between, let's say, 11 and 7, your cells have 16 hours to start the autophagy. Destroy all the junky proteins you have consumed and recycle themselves. I mean, you can do up to 24 hours or even 36-hour fast, but let's go step by step at the start. What about the benefits of autophagy? Maybe you're thinking right now, okay, this is nice and this is science at its best, but can I really feel some actual benefits from the autophagy? A lot more than that. According to Dr. Roberta Gottlieb, director of molecular cardiobiology at the Cedars-Sinai Smith Heart Institute, fasting once a week might be sufficient and manageable to help you live a longer life or extend your number of healthy years. Actually, autophagy deficits have been associated with certain forms of cancer, neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, metabolic and autoimmune diseases, depression, and schizophrenia. On the other hand, some studies have found autophagy to help fight infectious disease, regulate inflammation, and bolster the immune system. The funny part is, this is only the beginning. In a past study that Dr. Gottlieb supervised, 10-month-old mice went without food twice a week to trigger autophagy. After 6 weeks, they had gained weight at the same rate as their non-fasting counterparts. When they reached a ripe 24 months, the autumn of their mouse years, their immune cells were studied. They had more youthful immune systems and recovered better from heart attacks than the non-fasting mice. They were also friskier and had shinier, healthier fur, she says. The bottom line is they were younger in many different ways. The magic word, young. Could this process always been the key to the longevity and the fountain of youth we were searching for since the first civilization emerged in Mesopotamia? The science says yes. Could the science also confirm the autophagy be the missing key, the magical cure for almost all the diseases, including cancer? We haven't conducted enough researches to confirm this kind of statement. However, what we can confirm is the fact that autophagy helps our body to stop breaking down on macro and also on micro level. And if minor problem occurs, autophagy is your first line of defense and your certified repairer. Does the pharmaceutical industry like autophagy? They hate it. They hate it as much as the food industry, because if they want to survive themselves, they want you to eat a lot, and not just a lot, but also every sort of junk they produce. Choose the healthy option instead. And now just like and subscribe, and maybe share your thoughts to get an access to all of the actual knowledge of this world.